Do you feel like you're stuck right now in your life? Do you feel like everything that you're trying to do is just getting worse and worse and nothing seems like it's going your way? Well, I'm here to give you hope. I'm here to share with you guys that there is reasons for things happening in your life right now. But the first thing you guys gotta understand is that it's a mindset shift that you have to have so that you can start getting out of this season that you're in. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this episode. Let's go. Welcome back, guys. So if you're new to this channel, my name's Tim Bonner. Been on this journey for a long time, and in my personal life, I faced a lot of adversity with growing up in poverty, with losing my mother, losing my father at a very young age, with being arrested, getting hurt in the Marines. So I've faced a lot of difficult situations. So I know that I can shed some light with you guys that everything that you're going through in your life right now is meant for your good. But there are certain things that you gotta focus on, and there are certain things that you gotta start realizing and becoming aware of what's happening in here in your mind. So first thing I want to explain to you guys is the seasons of life. It's the same thing. We have spring, we have summer, we have fall, we have winter. That we have these seasons, and right now you might be in a winter season. If things are just chaotic and things are just going downhill for you, then that's the season that you're in. But as always, the seasons change. Remember that. The seasons change. So spring is gonna come around the corner. It's right there. So what are you doing to prepare yourself for that spring? And the biggest issue with people is that they stay stagnant in the winter season. They have long winters, years of winter, because they don't see what's ahead. They don't do the work. So realize that. I remember my winter season very well. It was in college. I was getting ready to graduate, broke. I was a broke college student, barely getting by. I was working part-time while doing my internship, and I was barely making the bills. I was barely getting food on the table, and that was one of the hardest seasons that I've been through, because I was ready to graduate, and I didn't struggle financially that much until my last semester of college. And I remember that I was trying to get a better job. I was trying to move up in the job that I was in. I was a security officer back then, and the manager had told me that there might be an opportunity for me to go full-time, get higher pay, and this would solve my financial issue. So I was waiting for it. I was excited. I was like, yes. And I remember I used to live near Eagle Creek Park. So if you're from Indianapolis area, there's a big park called Eagle Creek, and we used to live right by the Colts. My roommate and I used to live right by the Colts training camp. And I remember I would ride down to that lake, because there's a path all the way down to the lake where I would just seek peace. This is the place where I was able to seek peace and able to hear from God. Would talk to God during those times, because I was single, didn't have any kids before then. So I would always constantly go there. And for those who aren't believers, this may not make sense to you, but when you have a relationship with God, you talk and interact with Him on a daily basis, and that's what I was doing. And I remember that place where I went, which was down by the lake, that's where I really felt His presence. So I remember riding my bike super fast and just getting there, excited to tell God, I've made it. I thank you for giving this opportunity to me. Thank you so much for providing this potential job offer. I never got the job, and I was crushed. My spirit was crushed, because it was a long period of being broke. All those moments of frustration, all those moments of being depressed because I was broke, and I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken because I was going to be stuck in my situation even longer. I was angry. Angry at God. I'm like, why am I continuing to be in this situation again? When is this going to stop? And it just got worse. I went to go to a pantry, those pantries that give you food, because I was not able to buy food because I didn't have the money. I was so prideful to ask for help, but I had no choice. It's either go ask for help or starve. I was that prideful, but I ended up going to that pantry, and I was given that food. And that financial situation just got worse because there was a time where I wasn't able to pay my rent. So the church that I was going to, I had to go and ask for financial help, which they gave me, and I was able to pay my rent. But that was the most humiliating thing that I went through in my life because I don't like asking for help. And God broke me down in that situation, and He was just like, Tim, you have to humble yourself. You don't have all the answers. You need people in your life to help you. No matter how tough you think you are, I'm bringing you down here because you need to break this bad habit. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to seek counsel. And I was forced to go ask for help. So it just got worse, and I remember so frustrated with my life. And I was also single at that time, where I saw everyone getting married. I saw my friends that were younger getting married. My niece was getting married, and it just really broke me down because I felt worthless. I was like, why not me? I'm 20, upper 20s now, and it just seems like nothing's working out for me. And what I've learned in that winter season was that now that I'm here now in my spring and summer, what I've learned in that winter season is that we have to change our perspective. We have to change our mindsets. There are reasons why we go through things in life, and it's because God's trying to build our character. We're meant to progress in our lives. We're meant to grow and not be stagnant. And I realized that I waste a lot of time complaining. I waste a lot of time not appreciating what I had. Now that I'm married, I long for the quietness. And it's funny because, when I was single, I wanted the family. So it just seems like we can never be satisfied with what we have. And that's why we're stuck. That's why you're stuck right now in the season you're in, because you can't appreciate what you have. And I didn't appreciate what I have, and that's why I was going through that season for a very long time. We have to find contentment in every situation, every environment, every circumstance that you're in. Because once you find contentment, then whatever blessing that comes your way, you're going to appreciate a lot more. I appreciate my family now a lot more. And when I lose sight of what God has given me, I remember those moments of wanting and longing for a family. So we always got to remind ourselves of the small blessings. We got to remind ourselves what we have. If you're so concerned of what you don't have, you're going to be miserable. You're going to be in that negative mindset. So you have to really understand and become aware of the season that you're in. So you're in that winter season right now. So what is God teaching you in this season? What are things you have to let go of? What habits do you have to break so that you can prepare for that future spouse, for that future family that you want? What God has in store for you, you can't handle right now. You can't handle that family if you're not finding value in yourself. If you don't value yourself, you're not going to find a good relationship. You're going to land the wrong ones. You're going to have a relationship that's broken because you're not healed. You haven't done the work on yourself. So it's so important that in this winter season, you start tearing down the man that you don't want to be and become that man that you want to be. When I was in that winter season, I had to let go of my pride. I had to let go of my arrogance. I had to let go of my addictions to alcohol. I had to let go of the depression because I wasn't happy with my life. So I had to tear those things down so I could become the man that attracted this family that I have. That also included working on my health. That also included getting to the gym and feeling good, raising that dopamine, operating at a higher frequency so that I can attract abundance. Because you can't attract abundance if you're at a low depressive state. I've said this before. We're an energy, and there's different levels of energy and how we function. So if you're functioning at a low energy, It's either going to be lack of self-worth, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be ashamed, fearful, all those things at a low energy frequency. So the goal is, if you're stuck in there, is to get yourself up to that positive frequency, which is more of that abundance, that love, that peace, that enlightenment that you can attain. It is about your energy that you put out. If you're putting out that negative energy all the time, no one wants to be around you. No one wants to be in your presence. So you're not going to attract that spouse. You're not going to attract that job opportunity because no one wants to be around you. That's the truth. So when you work out, you're automatically raising that frequency. You're raising that energy. You're hitting that dopamine, like I said. You're feeling good because you're taking care of yourself. People who don't take care of themselves don't love themselves. And if you don't love yourself, how are you gonna love other people? How are you gonna love your spouse and how are you gonna love your kids well? So you gotta love yourself first, and that's by taking care of yourself. That's by changing your thought patterns. Okay, so hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying here, and you guys can apply this to your life. Like I said, get to the gym, get out of that depressive state. Well, what if I don't work out? Get movement in your body, get some kind of movement. It can be hiking, it can be rock climbing, it can be cycling, it can be whatever it can be, as long as it's raising that frequency, putting you in that better state so that you can manifest things more compared to being in that stagnant state, that depressive state. So those are things that you can apply right now, but with your thoughts, that is harder, because you really have to become aware of your thought patterns. You know, I had a conversation with one of my friends at work, and helping him understand that it was his self-talk that was really preventing him from enjoying his life. And I was explaining to him that it's the way that you speak about yourself, it's the way that you speak about your environment, it's the way you speak about your life. And I was caught up in that same situation too, where I thought that, oh great, this is happening again. Why can't things ever work out for me? Why am I still broke at 26, 27 years old? Why am I not married? This is miserable. Just that negative self-talk, rather than just knowing that things will work out, rather than just knowing that all this is for my good, is to create that man that God wants me to be, which is a man that's on mission, man that has a purpose, man that truly is comfortable with himself, who knows himself well. If you don't love yourself, it's gonna be hard to find people that love you. That's why maybe you're in bad relationships. That's why maybe you can't seem to find good friends. You hang out in the wrong environments. You go to places that you shouldn't go. Broke people attract broke people. And another tip here is that you got to stop focusing on yourself. I know things might be bad. I know things aren't going your way, but you can snap out of it by appreciating your life, appreciating that you have breath, appreciating that you have movement within your body, that you can move and maneuver. When I was in jail, I had no freedom. Everything that I took for granted was lost when I was in there. There are people that are going through worse situations, and it sucks, because when I lived in poverty, there are kids out there smiling and laughing, and they were in the worst environments. So it's all about your perspective and your mindset. Appreciate your life more and get out of that funk. Start helping someone else that's struggling. That's the goal in life, is to heal yourself first, and that way you can help another person that's going through the struggle. Because we're all connected in this world. We're all connected with each other to try to make this world better. So if you're so stuck in your depressive state, imagine if you just healed yourself and you were able to impact someone else's life, because you gained that wisdom, or you can relate and help another person that's going through the same thing that you're going through. Once you let go of yourself and find opportunities to help other people, that's so much more fulfilling and rewarding than always thinking about yourself and what you don't have. But it's harder said than done. I know, I understand that. But this season is gonna pass. You will move on to a spring, but that spring won't come until you start working on yourself and being content with what you have. I hope this was helpful. I know that things will get better for your life, because I'm on the other side of it. I'm going through my own storm, but I'm applying the same principles. You know, I'm in the waiting phase of my blessing with my purpose. But I gotta remember that I have to enjoy this season that I'm in. I have to enjoy this process. I have to just be present in this moment. Just have fun. I think we're just so hard on ourselves that we lose sight of being playful, being childlike. And that's where, if you think about it, that's where you truly were your authentic self, is when you were living free, when you were laughing and playing and had no limitations on your life, is when you were a child. My son is proof of that. He's unstoppable. He will find a way when we tell him no. But I hope, guys, this was helpful. Work on you. Start getting rid of those bad habits. Get into the gym, raising that energy, that frequency, and then start attracting. Don't chase. Start attracting the life that you want. So anyways, if you have any questions on this, if you need help with this, leave in the comments below. I love encouraging other people because I know that life is good. Life is well. If you're alive and you're breathing, then life is good. So anyways, until next time, guys, achieve your highest potential. We will see you in the next episode. Peace.